Question 1. What color are the reflective studs between the lanes on a motorway? A. Green. B. Amber. C. White. D. Red. The correct answer is C. White. Question 2. What color are the reflective studs between a motorway and slip road? A. Amber. B. White. C. Green. D. Red. The correct answer is C. Green. Question 3. Your vehicle has broken down on a motorway. In which direction should you walk to find the nearest emergency telephone? A. With the traffic flow. B. Facing oncoming traffic. C. In the direction shown on the marker posts. D. In the direction of the nearest exit. The correct answer is C. In the direction shown on the marker posts. Question 4. Why is it important to make full use of the slip road as you join a motorway? A. Because there's space available to turn round if you need to. B. To allow you direct access to the overtaking lanes. C. To allow you to fit safely into the traffic flow in the left-hand lane. D. Because you can continue on the hard shoulder. The correct answer is C. To allow you to fit safely into the traffic flow in the left-hand lane. Question 5. How should you position yourself when you use the emergency telephone on a motorway? A. Stay close to the carriageway. B. Face the oncoming traffic. C. Keep your back to the traffic. D. Stand on the hard shoulder. The correct answer is B. Face the oncoming traffic. Question 6. What color are the reflective studs between the hard shoulder and the left-hand lane of a motorway? A. Green. B. Red. C. White. D. Amber. The correct answer is B. Red. Question 7. On a 3-lane motorway, which lane should you use if there's no traffic ahead? A. Left. B. Right. C. Center. D. Either the right or center. The correct answer is A. Left. Question 8. What should you do when going through a contraflow system on a motorway? A. Use dipped headlights. B. Keep a good distance from the vehicle ahead. C. Switch lanes to keep the traffic flowing. D. Stay close to the vehicle ahead to reduce queues. The correct answer is B. Keep a good distance from the vehicle ahead. Question 9. You're on a 3-lane motorway. Which lane are you in if there are red reflective studs on your left and white ones to your right? A. In the right-hand lane. B. In the middle lane. C. On the hard shoulder. D. In the left-hand lane. The correct answer is D. In the left-hand lane. Question 10. What should you do when you're approaching roadworks on a motorway? A. Speed up to clear the area quickly. B. Always use the hard shoulder. C. Obey the speed limit. D. Stay very close to the vehicle in front. The correct answer is C. Obey the speed limit. Question 11. Which vehicles are prohibited from using the motorway? A. Powered mobility scooters. B. Motorcycles over 50 cc. C. Double-deck buses. D. Cars with automatic transmission. The correct answer is A. Powered mobility scooters. Question 12. What should you do while you're driving or riding along a motorway? A. Look much further ahead than you would. B. Travel much faster than you would on other roads. C. Maintain a shorter separation distance than you would on other roads. D. Concentrate more than you would on other roads. The correct answer is A. Look much further ahead than you would. Question 13. What should you do immediately after joining a motorway? A. Try to overtake. B. Readjust your mirrors. C. Position your vehicle in the center lane. D. Stay in the left-hand lane. The correct answer is D. Stay in the left-hand lane. Question 14. When would you use the right-hand lane on a 3-lane motorway? A. When you're turning right. B. When you're overtaking. C. When you're traveling above the speed limit. D. When you're trying to save fuel. The correct answer is B. When you're overtaking. Question 15. You're on a motorway that isn't subject to smart motorway regulations. When should you use the hard shoulder? A. When you're stopping in an emergency. B. When you're leaving the motorway. C. When you're stopping for a rest. D. When you're joining the motorway. The correct answer is A. When you're stopping in an emergency. Question 16. You're in the right-hand lane of a 3-lane motorway. What do these overhead signs mean? A. Move to the left and reduce your speed to 50 miles per hour. B. There are roadworks 50 meters, 55 yards, ahead. C. Use the hard shoulder until you've passed the hazard. D. Leave the motorway at the next exit. The correct answer is A. Move to the left and reduce your speed to 50 miles per hour. Question 17. When are you allowed to stop on a motorway? A. When you need to walk and get fresh air. B. When you wish to pick up hitchhikers. C. When you're signaled to do so by traffic signals. D. When you need to use a mobile telephone. The correct answer is C. When you're signaled to do so by traffic signals. Question 18. You're traveling in the left-hand lane of a 3-lane motorway. How should you react to traffic joining from a slip road? A. Increase your speed to ensure they join behind you. B. Adjust your speed or change lane if you can do so safely. C. Maintain a steady speed. D. Switch on your hazard warning lights. The correct answer is B. Adjust your speed or change lane if you can do so safely. Question 19. How should you use the lease on a motorway? A. Use the lane that has least traffic. B. Keep to the left-hand lane unless you're overtaking. C. Overtake using the lane that's clearest. D. Stay in one lane until you reach your exit. The correct answer is B. Keep to the left-hand lane unless you're overtaking. Question 20. You're traveling along a motorway. When are you allowed to overtake on the left? A. When you can see well ahead that the hard shoulder is clear. B. When the traffic in the right-hand lane is signaling right. C. When you warn drivers behind by signaling left. D. When in queues and traffic to your right is moving more slowly than you are. The correct answer is D. When in queues and traffic to your right is moving more slowly than you are. Question 21. When would you use an emergency refuge area on a smart motorway? A. In cases of emergency or breakdown. B. If you think you'll be involved in a road rage incident. C. To stop and check where you are. D. To make a private phone call. The correct answer is A. In cases of emergency or breakdown. Question 22. Traffic officers operate on motorways and some primary routes in England and Wales. What are they authorized to do? A. Stop and arrest drivers who break the law. B. Repair broken down vehicles on the motorway. C. Issue fixed penalty notices. D. Stop and direct anyone on a motorway. The correct answer is D. Stop and direct anyone on a motorway. Question 23. You're on a smart motorway. What does it mean when a red cross is displayed above the hard shoulder? A. Pull up in this lane to answer your mobile phone. B. Use the lane as a running lane. C. This lane can be used if you need a rest. D. You must not travel in this lane. The correct answer is D. You must not travel in this lane. Question 24. You're on a smart motorway. What does it mean when a mandatory speed limit is displayed above the hard shoulder? A. You shouldn't travel in this lane. B. the hard shoulder can be used as a running lane. C. You can park on the hard shoulder if you feel tired. D. You can pull up in this lane to answer a mobile phone. The correct answer is B. The hard shoulder can be used as a running lane. Question 25. How do smart motorways prevent traffic bunching? A. By using higher speed limits. B. By using advisory speed limits. C. By using minimum speed limits. D. By using variable speed limits. The correct answer is D. By using variable speed limits. Question 26. What helps to reduce traffic bunching on a motorway? A. Variable speed limits. B. Contraflow system. C. National speed limits. D. Lane closures. The correct answer is A. Variable speed limits. Question 27. When may you stop on a motorway? A. If you have to read a map. B. When you're tired and need a rest. C. If your mobile phone rings. D. In an emergency or breakdown. The correct answer is D. In an emergency or breakdown. Question 28. What's the national speed limit for a car or motorcycle on a motorway? A 50 miles per hour. B. 60 miles per hour. C. 70 miles per hour. D. 80 miles per hour. The correct answer is C. 70 miles per hour. Question 29. You stop on the hard shoulder of a motorway and use the emergency telephone. Where's the best place to wait for help to arrive? A. Next to the phone. B. Well away from the carriageway. C. With your vehicle. D. On the hard shoulder. The correct answer is B. Well away from the carriageway. Question 30. You're on a motorway. What must you do if there's a red cross showing above every lane? A. Pull onto the hard shoulder. B. Slow down and watch for further signals. C. Leave at the next exit. D. Stop and wait. The correct answer is D. Stop and wait. Question 31. You're on a smart motorway. What does it mean if a red cross is showing above the hard shoulder and mandatory speed limits above all other lanes? A. The hard shoulder can be used as a rest area if you feel tired. B. The hard shoulder is for emergency or breakdown use only. C. The hard shoulder can be used as a normal running lane. D. The hard shoulder has a speed limit of 50 miles per hour. The correct answer is B. The hard shoulder is for emergency or breakdown use only. Question 32. On smart motorway, what does this sign mean? A. Use any lane except the hard shoulder. B. Use the hard shoulder only. C. Use the 3 right-hand lanes only. D. Use all the lanes, including the hard shoulder. The correct answer is D. Use all the lanes, including the hard shoulder. Question 33. Where should you stop to rest if you feel tired while you're traveling along a motorway? A. On the hard shoulder. B. At the nearest service area. C. On a slip road. D. On the central reservation. The correct answer is B. At the nearest service area. Question 34. You have stopped in an emergency refuge area. What must you do before you rejoin the carriageway? A. Use the emergency telephone. B. Give an arm signal as you are moving off. C. Switch on your vehicle's headlights. D. Switch off your vehicle's headlights. The correct answer is A. Use the emergency telephone. Question 35. How should you rejoin the motorway after a breakdown on the hard shoulder? A. Build up speed on the hard shoulder before looking for a safe gap in the traffic. B. Move straight out into the left-hand lane as you are not allowed to drive on the hard shoulder. C. Wait until a vehicle in the left-hand lane signals to you that it's safe to rejoin. D. Keep your hazard lights flashing until you have safely rejoined the carriageway. The correct answer is A. Build up speed on the hard shoulder before looking for a safe gap in the traffic. Question 36. What's the speed limit for a car towing a trailer on a motorway? A. 40 miles per hour. B. 50 miles per hour. C. 60 miles per hour. D. 70 miles per hour. The correct answer is C. 60 miles per hour. Question 37. When should you use the left-hand lane of a motorway? A. When your vehicle breaks down. B. When you're overtaking slower traffic in the other lanes. C. When you're making a phone call. D. When the road ahead is clear. The correct answer is D. When the road ahead is clear. Question 38. You're driving on a motorway and have to slow down suddenly due to a hazard ahead. How can you warn drivers behind of the hazard? A. Switch on your hazard warning lights. B. Switch on your headlights. C. Sound your horn. D. Flash your headlights. The correct answer is A. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Question 39. Your car gets a puncture while you're driving on the motorway. What should you do when you've stopped on the hard shoulder? A. Carefully change the wheel yourself. B. Use an emergency telephone and call for help. C. Try to wave down another vehicle for help. D. Only change the wheel if you have a passenger to help you. The correct answer is B. Use an emergency telephone and call for help. Question 40. What should you do if you're driving on a motorway and you miss the exit that you wanted to take? A. Carefully reverse along the hard shoulder. B. Carry on to the next exit. C. Carefully reverse in the left-hand lane. D. Make a U-turn at the next gap in the central reservation. The correct answer is B. Carry on to the next exit. Question 41. Your vehicle has broken down on a motorway. What should you do if you aren't able to get onto the hard shoulder? A. Switch on your hazard warning lights. B. Stop the traffic behind and ask for help. C. Attempt to repair your vehicle quickly. D. Stand behind your vehicle to warn others. The correct answer is A. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Question 42. Why is it particularly important to check your vehicle before making a long motorway journey? A. You'll have to do more harsh braking on motorways. B. Motorway services areas don't deal with breakdowns. C. The road surface will wear down the tires faster. D. Continuous high speeds increase the risk of your vehicle breaking down. The correct answer is D. Continuous high speeds increase the risk of your vehicle breaking down. Question 43. You're driving on a motorway. What does it mean if the car in front shows its hazard warning lights for a short time? A. The driver wants you to overtake. B. The other car is going to change lanes. C. Traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. D. There's a police speed check ahead. The correct answer is C. Traffic ahead is slowing or stopping suddenly. Question 44. You're driving on the motorway. Which lane should you get into well before you reach your exit? A. The middle lane. B. The left-hand lane. C. The hard shoulder. D. The right-hand lane. The correct answer is B. The left-hand lane. Question 45. What restrictions apply to people who have a provisional driving license? A. They can't drive over 30 miles per hour. B. They can't drive at night. C. They can't drive unaccompanied. D. They can't drive with more than one passenger. The correct answer is C. They can't drive unaccompanied. Question 46. Your vehicle breaks down on a motorway and you manage to stop on the hard shoulder. What should you do if you use your mobile phone to call for help? A. Stand at the rear of the vehicle while making the call. B. Phone a friend and ask them to come and collect you. C. Wait in the car for the emergency service to arrive. D. check your location from the nearest marker posts beside the hard shoulder. The correct answer is D. Check your location from the nearest marker posts beside the hard shoulder. Question 47. You're towing a trailer along a 3-lane motorway. When may you use the right-hand lane? A. When there are lane closures. B. When there's slow-moving traffic. C. When you can maintain a high speed. D. When large vehicles are in the left and center lanes. The correct answer is A. When there are lane closures. Question 48. What would you expect to find at a contraflow system on a motorway? A. Temporary traffic lights. B. Lower speed limits. C. Wider lanes than normal. D. Road humps. The correct answer is B. Lower speed limits. Question 49. What's the meaning of this sign? A. Local speed limit applies. B. No waiting on the carriageway. C. National speed limit applies. D. No entry for vehicles. The correct answer is C. National speed limit applies. Question 50. What's the national speed limit for cars and motorcycles on a dual carriageway? A 30 miles per hour. B 50 miles per hour. C 60 miles per hour. D 70 miles per hour. The correct answer is D 70 miles per hour.